welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here. It's Working on Reviews, and we've finally come to the end of Season 1 of His Dark Materials. It's been a crazy 8 weeks. I can't believe it's been 8 weeks. I can't believe we've reached the end. It happened so fast. 8 weeks ago. Holy crap. It was like October? Was it even earlier than that? Whatever it was, man, it did not. Time flew. The time watching this from the beginning to me not knowing anything to where we are now, where I'm much more confident about this, and I want to thank everybody that's been along for the journey, for the ride. These videos have not gotten as much traction as I would have liked, but that's okay, because those of you that are here, I can tell you really care about this material. And so far, most of you enjoyed the content. I am me. I'm an acquired taste. I kind of, I don't do what everybody else does, I guess, maybe. That's what it is. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. But for those of you that have enjoyed it, I really appreciate you being here. I really appreciate the likes and subscribes and the shares and the comments, especially the comments. You guys have been so great in the comment section, and we will be back next season when it comes back. I know that they've been filming season 2 like concurrently, right? And that hopefully, if this is like a 3-season show, they do them all at once. Because even though that's a lot of work, Daphne Keene is going to age up quick. So I gotta say, like, this is the surprise. I think this is the biggest surprise of the year for me. I really thought I'd maybe like it. I even thought I might hate this. But I'm like, The Witcher's also kind of surprised me that I'm enjoying it as much as I am. But this is really a big surprise. And I don't, I've said, I don't usually go for the YA stuff. I don't really like kids very much. But this story has just compelled me, and it's got a lot of religious overtones that I'm not really into. But I like good writing, and I can overlook my own personal biases on things if it's written well. And this show is really written well. The production quality is fantastic. The acting is so fucking choice. Pardon my French for those of you who don't usually hear me cuss on these. But I love it. And so let's start talking about Betrayal. Season 1, Episode 8, full spoilers. It's playing behind me. So, overall impressions, though. I can't wait for next season. This starts out nice and slow, building up. We know that I like it because it's building tension. There's a lot of tension being built up because after last episode, Azrael just, as soon as he saw Roger, and Roger calls it out in this episode, things aren't right. And we get that slow build of the tension between her and Azrael. We got the tension of Marissa coming in with the fleet of the airships. We got the bears down there. We know they're there. It's all this culmination of stuff, plus Boreal's situation and him trying to find Will. All these things building up to this like big moment that where a lot of things are interconnecting and meeting up. So really good pacing in this episode. James McAvoy, he's really good in this. Ruth Wilson is subdued in this. She doesn't show that wild side that she's capable of. She's playing the game here. She's bobbing and weaving conversationally through different people that is just masterful, even when she talks to him. I am a little concerned of what season 2 is going to look like. I've never read the books. Like I said, spoilers, whenever she ends up, I hope it's not just here in our world, because here in our world, while she might think, wow, this is interesting, they don't have demons. That's about it. It's really boring here. We have to make up shows like this to, we read, we create heroes, we create fictions that are more interesting than our real lives. So I don't know. I hope she goes somewhere that's even crazier than where she is now. Because they say multiple worlds. And here we go. So, yeah, the Magisterium is gearing up for this attack. So's Marissa. You know, still Maria, his like snow leopard. You know, she's saying Aurora is strong and the child is here. And anybody that thinks that this is Lyra, come on. He was, and I love, like I'm gonna kind of skip ahead to like what Roger's. I'm gonna go back, but Roger even acknowledges that when he saw Lyra, he was mad, but when he saw me, he looked like a wolf. He could see the predator. And it's so, I mean, I'm glad that like, Roger is such a smart character. He's such a good, you know, like I said, I'm not usually into kids, but I really like the kids in this. But like, you know, Azrael, when he's first talking to Lyra, it's so harsh. You know, because he's never been a real father. He even says, like, I've never called myself a father. And you know, I was thinking about how harsh it is, but the thing is like, I could see myself, like, being that way. Like, I'm an alright uncle. I can be, you know, a little cantankerous when it's like, when somebody's invading my space, like one of my nieces or nephews ever did. Like, oh, well, my one nephew anyway. My niece and my other nephews, they're somewhere else. But like, I remember when I was around them that sometimes I'd just be like, back off. Like, I love you, but back off. And I could see where, you know, Azrael's coming from a little bit of just, I've been always doing my own thing. You know, I put you in the college to protect you so I wouldn't really have to think about you. So I could do what I want. And I can definitely identify with that. But I did like how earnest she was with, I've been so proud of you, you know, all, you know, what you're doing, and you're my father. And it's like, oh, geez, man, break your heart. And then Marissa, again, she's like scratching the monkey, and at the same time the monkey's going, ah. She's going, ah. And alright, and it's like, okay, this is a finale, so we're talking about this. I still don't want it spoiled for me. I thought maybe we'd get some answers. But seriously, what the F is up with her? Alright, if my ideas are so out there, because I guess I can see that she's not from our world, right? But what the F is up with her? Her connection to that monkey is not normal, and it's and if it is, it's just, are they just so close? Are they so connected? But then again, it never answers why it can go far away. So, oh my gosh, I don't want to cheat. I don't want to cheat. I want the answer organically. But that was something that I was really hoping that they would answer here. And now I'm just going to have to be tortured about it. Because I seriously want to know what's up with her. What is the truth? And apparently everybody but Marissa is afraid of dust. Or Azrael's work. You know, they don't want to see the truth. You know, I like when she's like, what is your sin? Your sin is envy. Because you lack a sureness of step and conviction. Like, just, whew, boy, I mean, it's not like she's not ripping into him, but she's cutting him to the core of his person. And she's really good at that. But it also talks about like the original sin thing, right? Well, they're looking. Boreal's people are looking for a knife surrounded by angels. This is the information that they got from the alethiometer at the Magisterium, and they talk about how, you know, it came for Grumman never had a son, but see, they don't know him like from the like his life on the other world, where he had a wife and he has a kid and he has a son, and Boreal knows that, but nobody else. So he's gonna lead them to the knife that'll lead him to the whatever. And I don't like this MacGuffin talk, okay? Because then it starts to feel like recently all the talk about Rise of Skywalker, where you gotta find the thing to get to the place to find the next thing. These things that are just stepping stones, like in a video game. I know it's more than that. I don't want to piss anybody off, like I'm dissing their favorite book or anything, but that's what it reminds me of. And it doesn't remind me of Rise of Skywalker. I'm just talking about, I don't like MacGuffin hunts. Um, so Azrael says he's going after what he needs now that EO4 is gone. But he doesn't even want to say goodbye to Lyra. I like when Roger says parents are more trouble than they're worth. Did you like it when they were just orphans? And, I definitely can stand behind him on that, too. I have not seen my real father since 1987. Don't know if he's alive or dead. All I know is that I'm probably better off without him. And my mother I have not seen since 2002. And I know I'm better off without her. So I can relate to a lot of things that are happening in this episode. And it's funny because of the whole I've never seen myself as a father either thing, but I've also, don't really want my parents at the same time. Find out that the guy that's working with Boreal is a cop. So it kind of makes me wonder if Boreal realizes how close he is to, like, if this guy decided to shoot him or something, like, does he even know? Like, I don't know. That's a small thing. Also, when Lyra and Roger are eating their peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on, like, the bearskin rug underneath the little fort that they made, which, me and my sisters used to make forts all the time. I used to try to make them for my nieces and nephews a while back, about 10 years ago, too. It's just a lot of fun. But in that scene, you just don't see true friendship anymore portrayed like this well on either television or movies. You just don't. This is like such a pure and true friendship that I haven't seen it since, like, My Girl. Now I know, like, Harry and Hermione and all that, they've had, they're good close friends, but they've had their ups and downs too. These two, they've never hit that. We've never had to see them hit that kind of difficulty in their lives. This is just that, like I said, like My Girl level of friendship, like, Anna Klumsky and Macaulay Culkin level. Even more than that. And that's why I was like, oh, so he's doomed. He's doomed, right? Because this is called betrayal, and you know that Azrael's licking his lips over this kid. Because again, nobody wants to, Marissa didn't want to sacrifice Lyra. She was willing to sacrifice other kids, which intrigues, Azrael kind of goes, really? Also, they think he does have this sit-down talk with Lyra. It's actually, he's like trying, it's like what mirrors the later conversation he has with Marissa, where he's trying to convince Lyra, why don't you come with me? Let's go find Dust. Let's go do this as a father and daughter. And that we find out this whole thing that they think that Dust is original sin. That it is sin. And it goes back to, like, Adam and Eve. And Dust is, it's just like, oh, good Lord. Like, no matter what world you're in, there's somebody that's going to try to control you over this kind of shit. And it's even, Dust is used to control. And if you find proof that Dust isn't what they say it is, then they lose control and people aren't afraid anymore and they are free. And I do understand then why Azrael's doing it. I just don't like how he's doing it. I don't like how Marissa's trying to keep it, from being true. Because she's putting on blinders. Now, why is she putting on the blinders? Again, we don't have her full story. Why is she with the Magisterium? I don't quite understand that. And I feel like Azrael doesn't understand it either. But, this whole thing of them, the proof of, like, finding out that Dust isn't, like, sin would also be kind of like, here are people finding out that there's no heaven or something. That there's no afterlife. The thing that the church used a long time ago that started with tithing and all that. And they're like, oh, hey, you pay this amount of money and you get to heaven. And everything's fine. It's all worth it as long as there's an afterlife. If people really stop believing in stuff like that here in this world, so, he's like, let's go find out what dust is. But she won't go. He does tell her that dust powers the alethiometer. And then Azrael takes Roger to cut his demon from him for his energy to open the bridge to the other worlds. And this is where everything just gets really fast paced. And Yorick answers the call, and Marissa and the Magisterium arrive, and everything is happening really fast. And then that guy from Gangs of New York that said that horrible thing about the guy in the church, Thorold, gets the drop on dude, but he pulls the gun out, and there's a rule that I say, man, and other people say it too. It's the trope of never pull a gun if you don't intend to use it. The person who's always standing there with the gun on somebody, just letting them talk them down. I hate that cliche. The Magisterium arrive, and I really wanted to see more from the Bears fight. That's a bit disappointing, because they were talking about how they have fire hurlers and everything, and we just really didn't get anything. It's just a lot of like some bears falling and some explosions, and the paratroopers, flying through the air with their hawks and eagles. That was cool. It just wasn't. There wasn't enough of that for me. And here we are, even like where we're watching right here. Azrael puts Roger in the cage. Lyra has to make that last trip on her own across the little bridge to try to get up to the top of the mountain. Of course, they put these obstacles in the way, so that way when she gets all the way up here, it's too late. And this was heartbreaking, because I thought, he's looking at him too. He's giving him that speech of basically for the greater good, that this is a war and there are casualties of war, and you're just one of them, and I'm sorry that this is happening to you. But it's like, well, then if you're sorry, stop. If you're sorry, stop. And when they see the little ferret just turned away, I was like, oh. And Lyra, so of course she's too late, right? And I always just was trying to figure out, how do you sever an invisible bond? But there's like the blade, and then there's those two circles, and it feels like there's like an energy in between them, like that space in between, right? Is that what it is? Like that you cut that bond, that's some sort of it's an energy that we can't see, I guess, but it probably has like a vibration, some sort of like, I don't know. I'm not going to try to understand all of it here, but they're severed. She falls. I thought it looked again like another big fall, but it wasn't. It was a really well shot, like boom, backwards. And Marissa arrives. And he tells her the same, basically trying to get her to come along with him too. I don't think he wants to go alone. But he's talking about making a new republic of heaven and freeing everybody. And I started to tune out when he started talking like that. I was like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, But she turns him down. She turns him down because she says she chooses Lyra. That our daughter is here and I choose her. And that was something I didn't expect. I also expected her to pull one of these two to shoot one or the other. I really did. Because they made a point of showing the gun behind her back. And I think maybe they were just showing it so that we would maybe think that the whole time, to cause this even bigger tension. And I think we just become used to that kind of scene where somebody, at the end, you hear the and the other person falls that you didn't know was going to get shot, and it would probably be Azrael. I don't know. But she chooses Lyra, and Lyra hides from her. And it's really, really sad because, Roger and her were, it's kind of, he would have never left. He even says it through the whole thing. They're telegraphing his death throughout the whole episode. I'll be honest with you about that. It makes you think of like a Walking Dead episode where all of a sudden somebody starts saying all the right things, all these great things, and you just know they're screwed. And they pull him out of the cage, and it's really sad. It's really sad. Because they don't want to just leave him here at the top of the mountain, but where are they gonna go? How are they gonna go? Like, get him out of here? I mean, I guess, well, maybe she could try to, like, how does she even get back? Well, She can get back, but probably not with a body. And if she goes that way, she's got to go towards her mother. And so Pan says it best, I guess, where it's like, well, what if Dust needs protecting? What if this, all the lies that we're told, what if this is just another one? And let's go through there and find Dust before your father. So now it's become a mission to stop her parents, basically. And I'm all for it. Will, at the same time, who's been on the run, somehow ends up in the same spot that Boreal crosses. So I'm assuming he's coming over to this world for sure. But we have no idea where Lyra's going to end up. Because we see the city in the clouds. And I'm hoping that city in the clouds is some crazy place. Not just like London or New York or frickin' wherever. And that's the end of the episode, and it was really good. It was really good, and it leaves you on a cliffhanger, but not one of those like who's alive, who's dead. We know who's dead. And so, thumbs up, man. 2 thumbs up for this. I can't wait. I don't know how long we're going to have to wait. I'm assuming like a year before we get to see more of this show. And it was all 8 weeks of this was totally worth it. Like I said, it's one of my favorite things I've seen all year for real. And that's on a very short list of things that I will say are the best things I've seen this year. So, if you liked this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, continue to subscribe. We're going to be doing more stuff that's on HBO. We're going to be doing Avenue B. We're going to be doing The Outsider. We also have other content on the channel. We do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Batman the Animated Series. We're also going to be starting, because I got these, I'm going to be doing Justice League from beginning to end as well. We got Doctor Who. We're on season 9 of that. We do Crime Story 86, a show with Dennis Farina from when I was a kid that nobody seems to remember. We've got The Leftovers. We're on season 2 of The Leftovers we're reviewing. We've also got Doom Patrol that we're almost done with. I think I already said Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I haven't filled any gaps yet. I do comic book reviews and movie reviews, and we do game streams as well. So don't just leave the channel. Try, and if you're not liking what I do now, always keep an eye out, because this show is coming back eventually next year, and I will be doing the hell out of some Better Call Saul. There's a whole lot of shows coming out, like Invincible and Snowpiercer, the series, and Why the Last Man. There's a whole lot of stuff coming to the channel. So, if you step away, and if you hit the bell for all notifications, then you'll know when something I do that you do like pops up. You can find me on Twitter at reviews_gun. If you feel so inclined, you can go to my coffee.com/smirkingreviews to donate to the channel to help the channel out. Or you can go to my PayPal at paypal.me/smirkingreviews, because we will never monetize this channel. So, it's a kind of a personal thing with me. So this is Rob at Smirking Gun Reviews saying thank you again, all of you, for real. Let's get serious for just a second. Thank you guys so much for being here and watching these reviews and watching along and putting up with me not knowing things. And I'm pretty sure that next year there's going to be a lot of stuff I don't know again. So thanks a lot. This is Rob at Smirking Gun Reviews saying thank you, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.